Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office for today's joint announcement. Keeping our streets and our communities safe is a shared responsibility among all of the agencies represented here today. And I would like to take this opportunity to recognize Assistant United States Attorney for the Middle District of Florida, Mr. Michael Senecor, FBI Assistant Special Agent in Charge for the Tampa Field Division, Ms. Kristen Reeler, Tampa Police Chief Brian Dugan, and Florida Highway Patrol Troop C Commander Major Joe Franza. While our nation deals with the grips of COVID-19 pandemic, criminals would be mistaken to believe we are distracted from protecting the community we are proud to serve. The announcement of this investigation is a testament that despite the impacts of coronavirus, the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office and our local, state, and federal partners remain strong. We are committed to stopping drug traffickers and keeping their highly addictive and lethal drugs off our streets and out of our neighborhoods. In late 2019, after a series of overdoses in the town and country area and ensuing investigations, we were able to identify several street-level heroin and fentanyl dealers. Further investigation led investigators to key people, many of them family members, who were transporting several kilograms of heroin and fentanyl into Hillsborough County each month. The Sheriff's Office, in coordination with the Tampa Police Department, Florida Highway Patrol, and the FBI Tampa Field Office, worked together to build a criminal case against these drug traffickers. As a result, indictments were sought by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Middle District of Florida, and the drug trafficking suspects were arrested. These traffickers showed no regard for human life when they laced heroin, a very dangerous and illegal drug in itself, with fentanyl, one of the deadliest synthetic narcotics the world has ever seen, and then peddled their lethal mixture throughout the town and country area. The drugs these traffickers and dealers sold led to more than a dozen non-lethal overdoses and at least one senseless and fatal overdose, and possibly even more. I applaud the efforts of the detectives and agents who diligently worked these cases, who saw them through all the way through to arrest, and who will continue to work within our justice system to see these individuals prosecuted. Today's announcement is a clear and resounding message. We are committed to protecting Hillsborough County. We will continue to go after people who choose to deal poison in our community. Drug traffickers and dealers, you will be apprehended and brought to justice for the victims of your lethal drugs and the grieving families who are left behind. I now invite Assistant U.S. Attorney Mr. Michael Senecor to the podium, who will provide details of the investigation and arrest. Mr. Senecor?
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning. Today, on behalf of United States Attorney Maria Chapa-Lopez, I am here to announce the federal indictment of 11 members of a drug trafficking organizations responsible for the distribution and trafficking of heroin and fentanyl in the Middle District of Florida. The individuals charged in this week's indictments operated networks from Tampa to Kissimmee. From January of 2016 until the indictments were returned and arrests were made this week. Their distribution of these deadly drugs, heroin and fentanyl, resulted in the overdose and death of one individual and serious bodily injury to another individual. Due to the hard work of our federal, state, and local law enforcement officers, the individuals charged as part of this investigation face penalties ranging from mandatory minimums of 5 years in prison to life in federal prison. In December of 2019, 2 additional defendants were also charged as part of this investigation. They are Eric Manuel Robles Rivera and Eddie Quinones Santiago. Mr. Robles Rivera has since pleaded guilty to possessing heroin with intent to distribute and has been sentenced to 33 months in federal prison. Mr. Quinones Santiago's case is scheduled for trial in October of this year. Thank you.
Good morning. As stated by the sheriff, my name is Kristen Reeler. I'm an assistant special agent in charge with the FBI's Tampa division. I am so honored to be standing here today with our partners to announce the takedown of an alleged drug trafficking network which preyed on our residents and profited from those addicted to heroin. The opioid epidemic continues to ravage communities across Tampa Bay and the entire country. Large amounts of low-cost heroin and fentanyl are contributing to life-threatening addictions and record numbers of overdose fatalities. Violent gangs continue to be an effective mechanism for the distribution of these dangerous opioids. The takedown announced today, codenamed Operation Pocket Dial, is the result of a 2-year investigation by the FBI's Tampa Bay Safe Streets Task Force, a task force comprised of federal, state, and local law enforcement officers. Partnerships are the key to fighting the opioid epidemic. The task force model allows us to leverage our collective resources on dismantling organizations whose activities include trafficking and distribution of dangerous narcotics. The utter devastation caused by opioid addiction cannot be overstated. This case highlights the FBI's commitment to addressing this epidemic. That same commitment is shared by all of us standing here today. Disrupting a violent drug trafficking organization is difficult and often dangerous work. But rest assured, the FBI, along with our law enforcement partners, will not stand by and allow drug dealers to peddle their poison in our backyard. Thank you for being here.
Good morning, everyone. To summarize, this investigation is truly about saving lives and saving families. And that's what the most important thing is here today. And I also want to thank, our partners in law enforcement, namely Sheriff Chronister. The sheriff and I have worked together. I appreciate his friendship. I appreciate his leadership. I look forward to working with him for several years to come. And so I think it's very important that we remember about the victims out there and that everybody in law enforcement in this area, how well we work together. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Dugan. At this time, any of us are available for questions.
Could there be more arrests coming to that?
I'm sorry?
Is this an ongoing investigation, or is it over, or are there more arrests?
There are some more indictments pending. There's some more indictments that have been issued that we haven't been able to apprehend. So there are some indictments. We haven't been able to catch up with a few of the individuals. They'll be taken into custody.
Could you talk about the street value of what was seized?
For this particular case, we don't want to get into details of what will be presented in court because to do so could run afoul of Department of Justice guidelines and also potentially jeopardize the rights to a fair trial for those that have been charged. I can tell you in general that we have seized very large quantities over the years for similar type investigations, but I can't give you any specific facts about any particular seizures in this case.
Can you talk about how you're notified about these dealers? Do you get tips from people? Do you have informants?
As a general matter, there are informants. There are citizens who complain. There's simple, good old-fashioned law enforcement surveillance, observations, sharing of intelligence. And as I just mentioned, the investigation sometimes can last years. And over time, the information is compiled. And when people get together and we have partners such as we have in this investigation that can talk together and cooperate and share information, then we can get the kind of results that produce indictments such as this case.
Thank you, everyone.